Jack and Emily, a charming and adventurous American couple, were renowned travel vloggers with millions of subscribers. They thrived on exploring hidden, untouched locations and sharing their thrilling adventures with the world. Their fans loved their chemistry, their humor, and their knack for finding the most stunning yet eerie places. One day, Jack discovered an abandoned mountain village called Raven's Ridge through an obscure online forum. It was said to be cursed, with rumors of disappearances and strange occurrences. Emily hesitated, but Jack's excitement was contagious. They decided it would be the perfect place to shoot their next vlog. The couple reached the isolated location after a grueling 8-hour drive and a 2-hour trek. The village was blanketed in fog, with decrepit wooden houses, overgrown vegetation, and an unsettling silence that hung heavy in the air. They began filming, laughing nervously to mask their unease. As Jack adjusted the camera, Emily suddenly shivered. "Did you feel that?" she asked, clutching her arms. Jack laughed it off, saying it was just the cold mountain air. But Emily felt something like a chilled hand brushing against her shoulder. Their vlog took a strange turn when they reviewed their footage that evening in the small cabin they rented nearby. In several clips, a white, blurry shadow lingered behind them. At first, they thought it was a camera glitch, but the shadow seemed to move closer in every shot. "What is that?" Emily whispered, her voice trembling. Jack shrugged, though his face betrayed his nervousness. Probably just fog or a reflection. But Emily couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't alone. That night, the couple went to bed, but Emily woke up to the sound of faint whispers. She nudged Jack awake, but when they listened, the cabin was eerily silent. Then she felt it, cold breath against her neck. She screamed, waking Jack fully. He turned on the light, but the room was empty. "You're just spooked," Jack said, trying to calm her. But he couldn't deny the growing unease in his own gut. The next day, they continued exploring the village. They filmed a house that was reportedly the site of the last known disappearance. While inside, Emily suddenly felt a sharp tug on her hair. She spun around, expecting Jack, but he was across the room. Her scream echoed through the dilapidated house as she felt icy fingers trace her spine. Jack captured the entire moment on camera. Reviewing the footage later, they saw the shadow, now clearer and more defined. It wasn't just a blur. It looked like a woman, her face obscured, but her long, skeletal fingers unmistakable. The couple decided to leave the village immediately. As they packed their gear in the car, the air grew colder. Suddenly, the doors slammed shut on their own, trapping Emily inside. She screamed and clawed at the windows as Jack frantically tried to open the door. When he finally succeeded, she was shivering uncontrollably. "She was in there," Emily whispered, her eyes wide with terror. "Who?" Jack demanded, but Emily could only repeat, "Her, the shadow." They sped down the winding mountain road, but no matter how far they drove, the fog remained thick. The GPS kept glitching, taking them in circles. Emily clutched Jack's arm. "We're not leaving, are we?" It was then they felt it, cold hands gripping their shoulders from the back seat. Jack swerved the car, narrowly avoiding a cliff. They jumped out, only to find the shadow woman sitting in the back seat, her head tilted unnaturally and a guttural sound emanating from her. Panicked and desperate, they returned to the cabin, hoping to regroup. Jack insisted on reviewing all their footage, thinking it might give them a clue about what was happening. As they scrubbed through the clips, they noticed something horrifying. The shadow had been following them since the moment they arrived at Raven's Ridge, sometimes visible just outside windows, other times standing motionless in doorways. Then they came across footage they didn't remember filming. It showed them both asleep in the cabin, with the camera slowly panning toward their faces. The shadow woman stood over Emily, her icy fingers tracing Emily's face. The last shot was of the camera dropping to the floor, with the faint sound of laughter. "That's not possible," Jack stammered. "We didn't record this." The couple decided to leave everything behind, their equipment, their car, and hike down the mountain. They walked for hours, but the fog only grew denser. Emily's breathing became ragged as she felt the familiar chill on her neck. Jack tried to hold her hand, but she suddenly stopped. "Jack," she whispered. "She's here." Jack turned to see the shadow woman standing behind Emily, her skeletal fingers gripping Emily's shoulders. He reached out, but Emily was yanked into the fog with an unearthly scream. Jack ran after her, shouting her name, but the fog swallowed everything. He woke up at dawn, alone, at the edge of the village. Emily was gone, her camera lying next to him. When he turned it on, the last clip showed Emily walking into the fog, her face blank and her eyes lifeless. Jack returned to civilization, a shell of his former self. He uploaded the footage to their channel, hoping someone would believe him or find Emily. The video went viral, but viewers were divided. Some called it the most convincing horror vlog ever made. Others claimed it was fake. Months later, Jack disappeared without a trace. The last upload on their channel was a live stream, shaky footage of Jack walking through a foggy forest whispering, "She's calling me." The screen went black, but viewers swear they saw the shadow woman standing in the distance, her skeletal hand reaching for the camera.